All right, so we've got the Escape to the Sun tournament. So what I did was, excuse me, I shot a scouting report on it, but I set up a playlist, Golf Clash Escape to the Sun Rookie Tournament, and I've got the walkthrough I shot, and then I've put in the holes from Winter Sun. Now, all of these holes, I think there's three holes in Kohang that I do max overpower hooks on. And I do all three of those max overpower hooks in this particular round. But I'm going to shoot some of those holes now. I'm going to try a different shot going straight out and bringing out a bigger ball and see. I'm made on at least one of the holes do something a little bit different. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So let's go check out Kohang Resort, hole number 1. All right, I was doing a max overpower hook shot from over here, trying to bring it around, and your run through here, really you want to run in this direction where you're involving this rough. And me personally, I would like to get my first bounce, second bounce, third bounce to clip the rough and then bleed out, and you end up here in front. I've had a hard time. I've ended up on the back side where I bounced over that rough, and then you just roll out, and it's easy to get on the other side in the rough. I'm working this sand, trying to stay out of the sand, but I would rather be in this sand than over here, so I'm trying to work that gap. The thing about doing the max overpower hook shot with varying wind is that your setup spot out here in this area is going to be pretty drastically different if you've got any kind of headwind versus any kind of tailwind. I'm going to try and get in front of this line and see what kind of run I can make towards the cup. I'm going to pull out, I just got that APOC 6, and I'm going to put it through its paces. There's a couple holes here. Even when you compare it to an extra mile, the extra mile does have 9 more topspin and versus just 3 extra power. But the holes that are here, there are some shots where that 3 extra power doesn't make a difference, but these ones, especially on hole number 1, I think it can make a difference. So we'll see. I'm going to see what the APOC can do today. If we have any tailwind, I might use a little bit of it just so I can catch up to the extra mile, but I want to put it through its paces, which is going to change because of the difference in curl. So going from half curl to basically full curl, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the APOC to get it around corners. So I would anticipate that what I will do more often than not here at the beginning, I'm going to practice this hole however many times it takes to get the trajectory right, is that if I apply, I want to see like if I can get in front of this and do a pretty straight up shot, or if I have to start off over here on the left hand side and then use curl to bring me back up through this fairway. So we'll have to see how far my red line can get pushed forward. I'm going to take a Zerk and a APOC, and let's go for it. Let's see what we can do. Let me open that chest. And I've got a club card trading I can do too. Let's see what the deal is. I'm a long ways away on every card, so the closest one I had was that APOC, and I just got it to 6 here in the last week. And I'm not working on either one of those. Although I can tell you, if you had a Falcon 8, that is an awesome card, but it'll get down to the point where I'll have to pick more cards to choose or to go through, but right now I'm only focused on 5 of my epics. And I'm just dumping any time I don't want to play those or pick the epics. I'm just dumping it on that rare. Escape to the Sun. Enter practice. Here we go. All right, practice now. Hole number 1. I have no idea which way the wind is blowing today or in the tournament. I've always wished that Golf Clash would put together, when they lay these courses out, actually lay them out like on a scorecard that you would get at a normal golf course, where it's got the course design, so that you can see and have them, tell you that today the wind's blowing northeast, and then you can look at the layout and see how it's affecting some of the holes, like which holes it's benefiting and which holes it's like, maybe instead of playing to the area we were playing to with that wind, it would be better to play to this area and set that shot up and really work the wind. You'd think that Playdemic would do something like that, because it would make people go through their ball inventory and see which ball would be best for that type of situation. Not enough curl, and you can see where that one bounce was at. If they'd have put any curl on there, they were super close. Super. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna be dead center. See where my white and clear ring over on the right hand side? I'm gonna do it where my white and clear ring, I'm right there on that transition. It's 1.5 per ring, so 4/5 is 3 rings. And I'm going to put the forward moving wind back in. Whew, that was a lot. Hitting it perfect. And see, I think I way over curled it. I needed to be like maybe 5 rings out. Oh, I'm way too fast. I like that trajectory through there, so that's good as far as like ball placement at the top. The rest of that can all be adjusted with topspin. And the wind was in my favor. I'm going to play this hole again and see which way the wind's blowing, because what I could do is just take the wind out and take the shot. Because there was a lot of wind there on that angle. Hitting it perfect. The cool thing about being up close on this green is if you're really up close, and you can see how steep it is coming out, it's on a mound, and you want to be up close. It's easier. Faux show. Let's see what it looks like. How far back can I go? From this distance, wind may be a factor. Just need to hit it perfect, and it'll go in the cup. And that was not perfect. That was like 75 rings great to the right. I'm going to try this one more time, but I think we'll see which way the wind's blowing. I really regret not having put that wind back in. I should have just took the shot so I would know where it was at. This is one of those holes, though, that tailwind really helps you and headwind really kills you. Birdie. Boom. Shakalaka. All right. It's a draw. Birdie. That is not the eagle I'm looking for. My whole goal, in the past, I've always taken the max overpower hook shot since this hole originally came out. Like in one-on-one, I play it a little bit different. Let me go grab something that will give me some practice tees. One of these customizable, one of these tees here. Let's reload it. Select it. Give me some, at least replenish them as I go through them. I'm going to play that hole one more time. We'll see which way the wind's going. If I'm getting a tailwind again, I'm going to not put the wind back in, and I may drop the topspin down just a little. I go first. All right, this wind is... Okay, so I put max topspin. I'm going to go one less than max. I'm going to go two less than max. Fully extended. I'm on the transition between the clear and the white. 1.5 per ring, so 4.5 plus a little. There's 4.5. There's 4.8. Hit it one ring, 1.5 rings, great to the left. Perfect. Just right out in front like that, anywhere out in front. Like, I got lucky right there at the end with the bounce over the sand, but that's the whole deal, is even if you're up close over there, it's at the end of your run. So like trying to get all of the trajectory right with varying wind, you know, anywhere you can end up if you're on the fairway on that side, that's a super win. But don't lose heart if you're in the rough or the sand right there, because really it does boil down to perfect. And I have, in my experience, wind is a factor if you're in the sand or the rough around the green. And so making that slight little adjustment. Let's see if we can get it in and get the eagle. And we can move on to the next hole. One of these par threes we've got to get our number worked out on it. And the other two par threes, there's opportunities, but there's one of them here that's, we've got to get our act together on it. It's definitely a hole-in-one hole. Okay, I still got some work to do. Hitting it perfect. See if I can get it in the cup. Woo! Hitting the flagpole. Wind was a factor. So like up close like that, if you've watched my videos for a long time, you know, like when I'm up close with my wedge, I think from the flagpole to the edge of the cup is 4 miles per hour. So it was like a 3.5 wind, and I'm reluctant sometimes to go off the cup. So like if I had a 5 mile an hour wind, if I stayed inside the cup, just like right on the inside edge, that would put me on a 5 mile an hour wind, would put me kind of like in the middle on the other side of the flagpole. I'm okay with that. I'm a big fan of staying inside the cup, because when you start taking it outside the cup, if you've got really big winds and you're playing from the pro expert and you're getting bigger winds, you're going to have to go outside the cup. But in rookie, I try and stay inside the cup. In the hole. Nice shot. Very nice. All right, that was hole number 1 of Kohang Resort. That's one way to get it. Hole number 2. What is hole number 2? Let's go check out hole number 2. Hole number 2, Kohang Resort. All right, this is a hole right here. I got no freaking idea. So if I've got two choices here. If I bring a 1 power ball, I can take this, I'll be down here and I can take it with a sniper at minimum club. And when I was playing with my sniper at minimum club, it's at like 1.3 per ring. I was playing it at 1 per ring, which is like doing a 30% wind adjustment. And then I was working with that number. So like I think I was doing 1 per ring and I was still adding on like a 5 or a 10%. The other way you can play this is come out here with a 3 power ball and you'll push your red line forward and you can play it at max grizzly. The question is whether or not you can set your shot up so that you're about 4 or 5 rings behind your red line with your grizzly, so that if you have a pure headwind, you still have room to work the shot out. That's the question. So I'm not sure on here which way. I'm pretty sure in the past I've always taken it with a sniper. but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm going to bring it tight. The king of balls. I'm going to bring this bag right here because it's got both in it. I'm going to switch that Guardian out for a sniper. Any of those bags will work. All right. If I don't like that, then I'm not sure. Like if I play with the Grizzly at max, I'm going to play a 30% wind adjustment. If I play the sniper at min, I'm going to play at 1 per ring plus 10%. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea. So this is the first shot of the week. I'm going out practicing. That's the whole deal, is you want to get, and this is why, once again, it's so important to record your own video so you can come go back and watch it and see what happened on that shot and go, okay, hey, I did the right pull. I was at 1 per ring and it was a 4.5 and I moved at 4.5 and hit it perfect, and I ended up, the wind pushed me off. Maybe I need to add a little bit of wind, and you can start dialing that in. And it works a lot better for those of you that hit perfect a lot, because you can dial that in really quick. For those dumbasses out there like me who don't hit perfect all the time, we go through all of the steps, we're perfect, and then we don't capitalize by actually hitting a perfect. Okay, there's my red line. I don't like that. Let's see where I could be here. Maybe. I was able to pull back. So it's 4.5, that'd be 4.9. If I get lined up with the wind. There's a 5 ring pull. Hitting it perfect. We'll see where we end up on that. It looked like I was going to go breezing past it. My distance, I like the distance. It looked like I was going to go a lot farther past it, but I'm really not. I'm not exactly sure what happened there with the. Now, I only did a 10%, and I will tell you that in one-on-one play, when I get to this hole, I do a 1 for 1, and I do a 30% wind adjustment. So it could very easily, while I was off, I only did a 10. So it was like a 4 point something, so that's 1.2, so it should have been like a 5 something. I'm not sure if I liked hitting it from that far back. It seemed like with the sniper at minimum club, you had a little bit more a flatter look to it, a flatter look at it. Let's not listen to my opponent. For another second. In the past, that would have always been a shot that I would have dunked, but I will tell you the dunks have gotten dangerous up close, because if you hit that flagpole just a little teeny bit wrong, it'll bounce off and miss the cup. So if you're up close and you're trying to do dunks, I've been aiming off to the side, but the problem with that is if you hit a great to the side that you're aiming off to, it'll miss. We used to do dunks in this game a lot more, I think, than people do now. All right, that was hole number 2. I still got some work to do on that. I think what I'm going to do, because I've got a bunch of shit scribble notes here, is I'm going to go back and do the 1 power ball with the sniper and do max club, even though I'm at minimum, plus 10%. And I'm going to try that one and see like how much closer I get. All right, hole number 3. What is hole number 3? Let's go check it out. Hole number 3. All right. I'm I'm a firm believer that you can hit out too far here. You don't want to get too far out here. You do not want to involve this tree. So, you want to stay on this side of the line. If you start getting out into this area, you may be closer to the cup, and now you've actually impeded your shot to it. If you could get all the way down here, which I don't think you can, you could get around it, but you're not going to get down there. You're going to get caught up if you try and do that. This area is actually not too bad, and you can get out there pretty easy. You can use a rock or a quarterback. Use something accurate. I have no idea what I'm going to take. I'm either going to play it with my number 5. I'm trying to get used to this bag. Did that club get any accuracy? No, it's still 75%. And I'm going to play it with a Titan. So it's either that bag or that bag. One of the two. I'm going to try it with the APOC first. Let me get one of those going. Save me a gem or two. Escape to the sun. Practice. Hole number 3. See if we can get an albie here. This is definitely an albie hole, and there is an adjustment coming into the cup, and I can't, and it's very slight, but you've got to make it. And I think it's a plus 10%. I think. And I'm pretty sure we're at max club. So I'm pretty sure we're at max sniper plus 10%. Mr. YNWA, thanks for coming to the channel. Now let me go kick your butt. Come on, need to win some chests. Now, if I actually ended up there, I don't normally. I'm gonna pull myself off. I'm watching the tail down there to see where it's going. So I want to try and give myself a little more separation. So 2 rings is 3 miles per hour. And then I'm going to give it a little teeny bit of right hand curl just to bring it back to the fairway. Because my first bounce, I moved it out so it was 2 rings away. Gave me 2 rings of separation, but then it moved this bounce so that it only gave me 1 ring of separation. So I wanted to put a little curl so that I could swing it out. I'm not sure what the perfect yardage is out there, but that was what, 380? 380, I got 0 notes here. APOC. Titan. The king of balls. Sniper. I don't know, I'm pretty damn far out there, so. What I need to do is find my cheat sheet that's got all my club numbers on it, because some of these clubs I don't use that often, or I'm not in mid club or max club or minimum club that often on them. Okay, 4.5. There's max. And I can take this with my grizzly. So it's a max grizzly plus 10%. So I'm going to do a 4.9. There's 4.9. Oh! 1 ring right to the left. And that's about 1 ring right to the left. That was a plus 10 with a grizzly. Grizzly. I'm going to definitely want to try that shot again and hit that shot perfect. I'm not sure. In the past, I've always taken that with a rock, and I just try and lay it up out there. It's super easy. You can the repeatability of it is over and over. Using a 100% accurate club, I'm not trying to get all the way down in there. I'm taking it with a sniper. I think sometimes it was maybe at mid sniper. Wanted to make sure that that top landing area, I had access to the entire red line on my sniper, but really not trying to dig it down in there very far. I don't know that I've actually taken that shot that many times with a grizzly. This is one of those holes that you can easily get in trouble on a par 5, and you've got a great shot at it with your wood. But we might have an even better shot with our long iron. Getting into hole. I think that's pretty much right around how I'm going to play that hole. I'm pretty sure that is a par 5. Hole number 4. Let's go check out hole number 4. What is hole number 4 of Kohang Resort? All right, this one we have to get. And I do not have any notes at all on here for this, but I am 100% sure. I have no idea. That's the deal. But we definitely want to get this worked out. So first of all, let's just go out there. I can't remember on this hole. I've played this hole a bunch in Tour 7. And in Tour 7, you play it, you come at it with a sniper, but I'm not sure here what we're coming at it with. And we don't need any side spin. So I'm going to start off with a 1 power ball, and let's see where that puts me. We'll see which club I'm in. It seems to me that in one-on-one play, I always play it at max club plus 10%, but here, I'm not sure. I got no idea. I have no idea. I'm just going to play it and see where it ends up, and then that'll tell me immediately like what kind of adjustment I need to do, as long as I can hit the damn thing perfect. If I don't hit it perfect, I learned nothing. Nada. If I sat here and shot videos until I hit all of them perfect into the cup, then you guys would be watching these videos for a long time. Yeah, I remember back in 2022, I started watching this video. I guess that would be my opponent's turn. Okay, what in the hell are you doing, dude? The wind's going to push you further out into the sand. You started off in the sand. So you're just going to end up further out into the sand. There you go. That's exactly where you set it up. What the hell were you thinking? Dude. This is a serious hole. Come on, man. Okay, it's 4.3. I have no idea where I'm at my club. I'm just going to play it at 1 per ring. So that's 4.3, and I'm going to add on 10%. So that's 4.7. There's 4.7. Oh, great to the right. And I didn't need to put on quite that much backspin. We're gonna play this hole again. We definitely want to make sure that we have a good setup for our clubs on this hole, and we know exactly what it is that we're going to do. And I will check this time to see where I'm at in my club. But I'm going to play at 1 per ring, and then I'm going to work out some percentage for it. Into hole. That is not the hole-in-one we're looking for. This may be the most hole-in-oneable hole in the game. There's some of the older holes that they've changed now that it's a little harder to get hole-in-ones on them, but I've probably gotten more hole-in-ones on those. But this hole, being a relatively new hole, people have gotten a ton of hole-in-ones on that. Let's try that again. Let's try that one more time. One more time. Let's really focus on trying to hit perfect. See if I can get my distance right this time. That's what really bums me out. I'm always, when I go on a par 3 and you're trying to set the shot up, I'm always really cognizant at the beginning of my distance, even more than my trajectory, because it doesn't really do you any good if you were 0.25 away from the cut, but you ended up 5 because you rolled past it. It'd be better to just get your speed right so that you ended up the 0.25. And then you can really start to dial it in. That all goes to that whole thing of, you know, you can get good at taking long putts or you can get good at hitting it closer. Because I am not a very good putter, so I don't like to take long putts. All right. Let's do one less than max backspin. Hey, get over here where I can see you. Four backspin. 4.5, so that's 4.9 once again. Now, let's try and hit this perfect this time. One ring great to the right again. I got my distance right though. That's the spot. That's the spot plus the 10%. Now I might have to fine tune that 10% and it may end up being 7.5 or 12.5, but that is definitely Grizzly Navigator 4 backspin plus 10% to the cup. That'll get me started. That'll either get me right in the hole or that'll get me super close. And the 4 backspin is really good there because like I'll be able to go back to this hole and put on the 4 backspin and then go find the spot real quick, and it gives me more time to sit there and watch the needle go by and get my timing down. That's why these practice rounds are so important. It's so important to get that down so that when you get towards the end of the week and you get towards the weekend round, you've already got all that stuff. You've already picked out your bag. You already know the number, so you can set it up faster and it gives you more time to allow the needle to settle down. Get into the rhythm. All right, what is this hole? Hole number 5. What is hole number 5? Now, hole number 5 is a hole that I'm gonna learn how to play a shot on right here. So I may end up having to spend a couple practice tokens here. In the past, there's a landing spot here going down, hit the island, hit the rough, get the green. You can come out here and go at it with a wood sniper. Especially if you bring a 3 power ball, you got a really good shot from out here. You got a great shot from over here. But if you're trying to get out here in your long iron range, you can do a max overpower hook from this side, which is what I've traditionally done. But a couple tournaments ago, and with this hole, we switched over to the max overpower hook from here, and I'm going to practice this shot. And I have no freaking clue where to set it up with this APOC. So I have an APOC, and it's got more curl. So my starting spot's going to be, I have no idea. So I'm just going to go out and pick a spot and pick something that I can mark and then see where I land, and it'll tell me whether I need to come in or if I need to go out. So I'm just gonna go pick a spot. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll go through the first time. And I'm gonna take a 3. I want to take a 3 side spin ball, because if I get over to the side that I'm at, that I want to, when I get over there, I also want to be able to cut the wind down, so I'm going to bring that Kingmaker. And I think we can get it done with a 3 power ball. But I have no idea where the hell to set it up. No idea. Maybe if we can get an opponent. Hole number 5. Come on. Hole number 5. And this is a par 4. A big out par 4. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right. Hole number 5. Come on. Let's get somebody. Let's roll. Am I the only person in the world practicing right now? Come on. I suppose there's 8 other holes. I'm waiting for somebody. A replay? Anything? Hello? Do you know what would happen if I hit your shots for you? Come on, man. A replay? Anything? Oh my gosh. Golf class cracks me up. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we got a real person. Maybe we didn't. Okay, I want to come out into that area. Okay, so there's 1 ring set. There's 2. Let's see, what am I pointing at out here? That transition where the moss comes out on the rock. 3-3. Thing about out here is I'm not going to be able to make good adjustments to work the wind with that APOC. And let's see if I can hit the fairway or if I went out too far. I went out too far. I left a lot on the table there. I left the entire fairway. I barely hit it, so I went out way too far. That's awesome, because I would much rather be out in the fairway, because you're not going to be able to see our rings to make wind adjustments. See if my opponent can get to where they want. I never liked hitting up to this spot. I mean, I think the second shot, if you're doing the rough bump, especially if you've got wind that's blowing to the left or the right, where you can stay in the rough, it's a great shot. But I think it's problematic, and I don't like it. Okay, I'm at Max Club. One nine. It's 2.0 per ring at max. There's 1.9. 10%, so that's a 2. Hit it. 1 ring great to the right. I'm just off on my timing, just a titch today. Just a bit. That had to be at least a 1 or a 2 ring great to the right. My B52, I'll tell you, a B52 is an awesome club. And it's definitely a club, you know, especially if you're playing upper tours, it's definitely a club to get up. I don't like it because I don't like it for the same reason that I don't like a Goliath. The Goliath is an awesome club. The problem that I have with them is that their red line is at 130. Their max is 135, and their red line between the shortest that a wood can hit is 135. So there's no red line. You're instantaneously in one club, and then you're in the next. And if you've played for a long time, even though we don't have force feedback stuff, when you hit that red line, so like let's say you're using a grizzly and a sniper and you hit that red line, there's a measurable gap between grizzly and sniper. You can almost feel it. Even though you can't feel it in the machine, you're feeling that, and you can feel as you slide it across it. Otherwise, I think the B-52 is awesome. Hole number, I'm going to play that hole again. Let's play that hole one more time. One more time. Here we go. Because this time I'm going to get the trajectory right. I can come in from where I was at. I can come in at least half a ring set, at least 5 rings. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a big swing at it. And the 5 rings may not be enough. I may be able to come in a little bit more, but 5 will be a good start. I think 5 is going to end me up in the fairway on the other where I will actually have a shot, but it may not be the perfect trajectory. All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay, before I was there, so I'm going to come out 5 rings. So what we need to find is a mark here. Okay, so 3-9. It's 1.5 per ring. So there's 3-9. I almost got all of it. I actually did not get all of it. I went out just a little too far. It's awesome that I ended up in the water though, so now I can take that shot again, and now we got it. So where I was at before was, here's the fairway, here's the first cut of the rough and the second cut of the rough. When I was fully extended, the transition between my white ring and my clear ring was right on the transition between the first and the second cut of the rough. So I should be able to pull it to the right another ring and a half, and that will put me in the right spot. Okay, so when it was fully extended, you can see that transition down there. I'm going to put my white ring all the way. So I've moved it out one more ring. 2 mile an hour wind. That was about a 20% adjustment. And I got all of it that time. And it doesn't quite have enough as much topspin as the extra mile, and I've been taking it with the extra mile, and while it does have that extra initial 3 yards of power, the extra mile's got that extra 9 yards of topspin, so the bounce from the first bounce to the second bounce, instead of hitting on that face before it gets to the flat part of the fairway, you can get a little bit of a run out there. So I may switch this back to my extra mile, which means that I'll have to change my starting spot because it doesn't have nearly as much curl. But I'll have to go back and watch the video between where that one landed and see how much room I have. So where am I at? I'm in my grizzly. There's max. Here's min. So I'm in mid grizzly. I'm just going to play a 1 per ring and see where it ends up, because that's a 10% adjustment. Well, I'm going to move it 3-8. There's 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I hit it great to the left. I let it go on that when it was going from the right to the left, trying to switch because I keep getting, I'm just a little off on the right hand side, so I was trying to switch directions so that I could get into a perfect rhythm, and caught a great to the left. Arr! And it was just a little great to the left. So that was a 1 per ring plus 10%. And I know that I'm in mid club. Making some notes here. 1 per plus 10% with the grizzly. Mid club. I need to actually pull up my numbers for mid and minimum with my grizzly because I don't have them. So if I pick a number, I'm just guessing. Hold number 6. All right. I think I figured out. I've got some video now on that, so I can go back and watch it and see what the trajectory was. But I actually think that I might, unless I can, what I'm curious is where my bounce was out here on the shot that went through, and how much room I have from this to this fairway. So, like, I moved it out. So where I ended up was this transition between the first and the second cut. I had my white ring when I was fully extended. I had my white ring right on that transition, wherever that was. So my red line's out here, and I just pulled it out and moved it to the right until my white ring was right on that transition. Took the wind out, took the shot. Where I want to know is where I landed out here. So do I have room where I can move it back into the fairway a little bit? Because when I was out where I had my white ring fully in the first cut of the rough, and my clear ring fully in the second cut of the rough, I clipped it down here and went right into the water. So I may be able to come back into the fairway about a half a ring, and if that's the case, where I came out on the other side and I clipped this face, if I could come in a little bit more where you can catch the fairway on the bounce coming over, then you really get a run forward. And with the extra mile, while it doesn't have as much curl, if I get down in this area with the right trajectory, I'll end up coming off on this side, but I can get more forward movement because that second bounce is longer. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if I've got room to do it with my Apocalypse. Otherwise, I might go back to my extra mile. All right. What's the next one? What's the next one? Hole number 6. Hole number 6. All right. And I'm not sure how I'm going to play this. I'm going to play it so that I'm going to try and get as far down into this shoot as I can. And I'm going to bring a 3-power ball because I'm trying to get into this zone where I can use this rough bump and see with my sniper if it's got enough to get me over there and get the job done. If you're in this area, you can bounce from here and get up to the green pretty easy. But I'm going to try and dig down in there as far as I possibly can. We'll see how it goes. This is definitely not a hole. And I'm going to bring that APOC again. This is definitely not a hole that on the drive you do not want to get caught up like mid-drive, because it is hard to recover here. You can, but it's not the what you want to be doing on a regular basis. Okay, and this would actually be, because I'm having to pull back from my red line, and I've got the wrong, I was going to bring my big topper bag, but I've got a Cataclysm in there. I'm using my extra mile because it's got more topspin. 3-3. I'm going to do a ring and 3/4. That's a little bit of an overpull. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. That could be problematic with the second bounce right here. That is the area right there I was talking about, and that's even worse if you get caught up mid range right here. If you're on the other side of this fairway, you have a much better chance of recovering. But if you're on the side that I'm on, it's going to be tough. Now there is a max overpower hook shot you can do with your Spitfire and or your Nirvana if you can reach the right spot. And I'm on the wrong side of the fairway, but I'm pretty far down there. My opponent and I are both in trouble. Big, big trouble. It's good to practice these shots, though. Because if you don't practice these shots, and you'll never... Actually, with just a little overpower, I can get over there. Okay, 2-8. There's 2-8. I'm going to put the power back on. I hit it 3 rings good on the right hand side, but I put all that curl on there, so I had room on the right. That's why I moved it to the right, to give me more room for the curl to become effective. And it gave me more room too. I could have hit it good on the left and good on the right and still made it over, at least give myself a chance to recover. And my opponent was in a really bad spot, partially because of the ball. So, like, that's the thing about these par 5s is you can come out here with a lower power ball. We do it all the time in one-on-one. But when you're in a tournament and you really do not want to lose one on minimum score, if anything goes wrong, it could be a problem. All right, here we go. Isn't it perfect? See if I got the wind adjustment right. In the hole. All right, I recovered. That is not the place to be. I'm going to have to play this hole one more time so I can see if I can get to the right spot, so I can see what that rough bump looks like, or if there is even a rough bump there. I'm not sure if you get out way the hell out there. I'm sure you've got to be in your wood range, but if you're in your long iron range, a grizzly's not going to get it done. It won't have enough topspin. You'll have to run it up to the cup. We'll see. I'm gonna get the drive right on the next one. I just wanted to show everybody what it looked like if you were recovering. Like, don't lose heart. You can recover from there. I was just trying to show you guys that. I did that on purpose. Hey, we got to go back. What the hell are we doing? We're going to end up playing hole number 7. We're not there yet. Oh, and I should have switched out my big topper bag and put in a grizzly. All right, 2-8, 2.1 per ring. That leaves me 7, and I'm going to do a ring and a half. That's about a 10% pull. I'm going to put a little bit of curl on it just to bring it back to the fairway. Hitting it perfect. And that was a little bit too much curl. Now I could go at it. I think if you brought a little bit bigger ball, you could try and hit to the other side, and you could really try and pound it down there. Because your red line's out in this range right here with a 3 power ball. So if you brought a 4 or a 5, you might be able to get over to the other side. With a 5, I'm sure you can get over to the other side. With a 4, you might be able to get over to the other side depending on the wind. If you had any kind of positive wind or neutral wind, you could probably make it over. But with a power 5 ball, It would take at least a power 5 ball to get over if you had any headwind, depending on how hard it was. I have no idea what this shot's going to look like. All right, we're in sniper. There's max club. Excellent. Excellent. I'm going right to the cup. I'm just going to do a straight up 2.6 adjustment. There's 2.5. There's 2.6. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Too fast. Too fast. I think if it would have been on that speed right there is so close that it may have bounced off the flagpole, and it may be one of those cups where it just falls in, but that was just a little too fast for me as far as speed goes if you really want to get it in the hole. And I'll have to go back and see what I did on the adjustment there. Just a little bit off. But that's definitely something I can work on. What I don't like is on that drive where my second bounce was, I had to use a little bit of curl to try and bring it back around, and putting on a little too much curl there was no room for error. Hitting it perfect. El perfecto. Good game. Good game. Good game, Bob. All right, what are we on? We're on hole number 6. And what was that to the cup? That was a sniper to the cup. I was doing a rough bump. And I'll have to go back and see what I did on the wind adjustment there. I think I did a straight up adjustment, but I over pulled it. So that might be one of those ones where you actually need to take a little bit of wind off. All right, practice. Hole number 7. Let's go check it out. Hole number 7. Da-da-da-da. All right, I'm trying to get around the bend here. This is another one. Like, this is more a max curl shot, trying to get around the bend here. I found myself out here in the sand, in the rough, I don't know how many times, trying to make it around the bend. So I'm going to bring out my APOC 6 and see what the hell I can get done. I don't think I can make it over to the other side, but I'm going to see what I can get done here. We're going to go at it. All right. If I need to, I may bring out a bigger power ball. I don't think you can. I don't think you can push your red line to the point where you can start off on the other side, but you might be able to. If you can, I'm going for it. I'll pull it out. Now this might be, especially if you were really close, like, you know, like if the wind was blowing right and you had the right ball, like this might be the time where you could take the shot going straight to the cup, where you'd bring out a 0 power ball. I don't normally like to play with 0 power balls unless you're either trying to drive the green or it's really a birdie hole with an eagle opportunity and your second shot has no chance of going in the hole. You're just trying to get up there. Those work really well. So then you're really close for the shot that really counts. But I don't really like having to take shots from distance with a 0 power or a 0 wind ball. Let's see which way my opponent's going at it. Now, this is just there is a great little layup out here, and I will tell you that I have no clue why, if you're taking a layup shot like this and you're trying to pinpoint accurate a shot, why wouldn't you bring out a 100% accurate club with the best ball guide that you have so that you can end up at $2.99 every stinking time? That way your second shot is the same every stinking time. Okay, let's see where I can get to. Like, there is just no way in hell I can get over to the other side. Not unless I had wind like I have today. And I'm going to end up in the sand for sure. But I'm going to start off right there. Let's take the 5 out. I'm going to do 3.5 rings. I'm going to put the forward power back in. And that was 2 rings on the inside. That'll definitely put me in the sand. Just missed it. And a little bit less topspin. Now, you can do that if you've got a headwind. If you have a tailwind, you'd have to take off a lot of the topspin so that you could end out in front. So I'd say maybe taking off 2 or 3 topspin if you have tailwind, and if you've got headwind, you could leave the topspin in, but because you're going to have to go further to the left, well, you probably have to take it out. I'll have to go back and watch that video. I think no matter what, I need to take out 2 or 3 topspin. From this distance. Let's see if I can hit one of these shots perfect today. I haven't hit a single sand or rough iron perfect, I don't think. Oh, and I hit that 1 ring great to the right. Arrgh! 1 ring great to the right. That's okay. That was pretty good. That hole right there, I want to go back and watch that video before I burn some more balls on that, because that has some potential where I may not be able to get all the way on the green in one, but I can get right there off of it and really increase my odds of being able to get it in. That would be a fantastico. It's pretty flat up there as well, so if you can get close and you use a rapier, you may get into that situation where you can run topspin even though you're quite a ways away. It's a draw. All right, what hole are we on? We are on hole number 8. What is hole number 8? All right, before we play hole number 8, I will be right back. I'm going to go talk to a man about a horse. All right, where were we? I have no clue what I'm going to do on this hole, so we're just going to go play it. I know I can't, you know, the deal is I can't remember on this hole. I know in Ricky we can play it from way down at the bottom, but I'm not sure what equipment to bring out or where that puts me. So we're going to find out the hard way. I'll pull out my trusty dusty calculators because we will see where I'm at and what kind of wind we're going to do, but we are way downhill. Way downhill. All right, I go first. Let's see where Min's at. Where's Max? There's Max. Let's pull out a 1 power ball. Okay, there's Min. There's Max. I'm at about mid club. Should be about 1.1, 1.2 per ring. 30% adjustment. So that's 1.3. Hey. 3.54 rings. Oh shit. All right. I suppose it would have been helpful to have my calculator out. I did have my calculator out. What was I thinking? I tried to push the buttons and I pushed the button and it didn't work, so I had to go back and erase everything. Arrgh! What kind of rookie move is that? What hole are we on? I'm not even at the end of the video and you're already screwing up, dude. What's the deal? Hey, well, let's play hole number 8 and actually play it this time. I didn't screw up my first shot. That's a fact. My first shot was actually perfect. I just didn't get it off in time. I was only like 5 seconds away. All right. Let's see if we can get at the right angle here. I want to be down here in the flat. I think I'm too far in the flat. 2.9. So 2.9 times 1.3 equals divided by 1.1. It's 3.5 rings. There's 3.5. Hitting it perfect. All that, I finally hit it perfect. Look at that. It still got pushed off. And that was at the 1.1. So like there's some of these courses, especially a lot of the newer courses that have come out in the last couple of years, where there's a lot of these holes that even though we're in mid club, there's so much elevation change that we're actually hitting it at max club and then doing the numbers from there. And I'm gonna do that next time at max club plus 30%, and that's where I'm gonna start my adjustments for the week. And then I'll work that number. And what I didn't like about how I set that shot up is I moved it. I was down there on the flat where the ball responded like I wanted, but I had to put on too much backspin to get it to the cup. And I would rather be further up the hill and be able to run a little less backspin so that I can actually generate a tail to walk to the cup. And let's try that one more time. How many I got here? Do I have any more? Not sure if I'm still shooting off the ones, or I think I've already gone through them. I only have one left. What kind of crap is that? I do have one left on it. Excellent. Okay, let's play that one more time. And I'm going to play it at max club plus 30%. All right. Timed out. Finally got it off. Hit it perfect. Now we're doing this shit again. I actually, when I saw this hole, there was a hole that I think I talked about it in the scouting report, that I went out there on the weekend round, and I finally just threw my hands up in the air and said, okay, fine, I'm just going to try and hit it great to the right, because every time I hit it great to the right, it goes in the hole. I thought it was this hole, but it actually isn't. It's another hole that's very, very similar to this, but the pin is in the middle of the hole instead of on the right-hand side. Well, you're coming at it different, but it's very, very, very similar to this hole. Now I see where my opponent's out in the flat. I like that, but I don't like how it engages down by the cup. I think if you're a little bit further up the hill, and I'm usually a big fan of hitting off the flat surface instead of a hill, but we'll see. We'll see. Par 3 here. We're using a sniper and a nav. We're doing plus 30% at 1 per ring. Let's see what the wind is. 2.5 equals 3.25 rings. to get it so that my tail comes at it. Okay, it's 3.25 rings. Hey, you're where I want you. There's 325. Hitting it perfect. Well, let's see if that gets a little closer. Still way off. That was an over pull. And that was a good, like, what I'm going to do is I'll make a note here, and I'm going to come at it at 15%. I'm going to cut that in half. Because by switching to 1, I'm already upping at 10%. So that raised it to 40, so I'm going to pull it back to 25. If that makes any freaking sense whatsoever. But I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to play it at 1 per ring and drop it down to 15% and see where it ends me up. All right. At least I have a starting spot for the week. This is why it's really important to have practice accounts. At least so you can go out there and practice on Monday. Maybe you play your main account, and if you don't really like what's happening, you just go ahead and practice, and then you can go out on Tuesday and you can play your practice account, and then you can play your main account, and you can really try and qualify. And then in a worst case scenario, you can still try on Wednesday, but you can work your practice account all 3 days and qualify on Wednesday, so you can really start to work these numbers. But having some place to start at the beginning of the week is super important. Hole number 9. All right, let's see it. And why did I not get, hold on one second. Hold on. All right, I had to go play some Tour 7 in order to get a freaking ball. It showed that I had 1 ball left, but I didn't, so I had to buy another deal and then go in and play another hole. All right, one-on-one, always play this side. Tournaments, always play this side. I want to get to the shadow. I'm going to bring a kingmaker and a rock. I'm going to bring my number 2 bag. I don't even need to go do it. I just need to pick the right ball when I get out there. Hole number 9. Sniper to the cup. And there is a slight adjustment, and I cannot remember if it's taken off 10 or adding on 10, but it's something right there. There is a slight adjustment to get to the cup, and it almost feels like we were taking off 10, but I can't remember. I'm going to take this one just straight up, and that'll tell me. Rock. Kingmaker, if I can ever get an opponent. Par 5. We are having a big windstorm outside. Hopefully I don't lose internet. Now the deal is that you can take this with a lower power ball and use your extra mile, but anytime you can do a shot with a 100% accurate club, especially like a shot like this is a very easy shot to get in trouble. And if you end up in trouble right here, you're in big trouble. My opponent did it perfect. Nice shot. But that looked very risky to me. It was almost a blind curl shot, and I don't have any problem with blind curl shots, but you don't really need to take a blind curl shot on that shot. Okay, 2-9. It's 100% accurate, so that's 3 rings. I'll put some curl to bring it back over to the fairway. Hitting it perfect. And that's going to end up me in the rough, in the sand. I over curled it. Look at that. I spent all that time to go get a practice ball and then ended up in the rough. We'll see if we can recover from here. I may be able to. The Spitfire has tons of topspin, so I might be able to get out to where my opponent's ball guide is right now. If I can get out into that area right there, that'd be a good recovery zone. If you fail, if you're up like shadow high and you get in the rough up there, you can recover. If you're up at the end of the run and you fail. But if you fail in the area where I'm at in the rough, you're in big trouble. I'm in big trouble. Now, I think you could recover. I'm going to see if you could recover from here, but I'm actually going to just lay myself up where I would have been. And I could recover from here. I could get over easily to the other side where I'd have that short iron wedge shot, and I wouldn't even have to do any overpower. I could do a rough bump with that little bit of headwind. I could do that shot, but I'm just going to lay it up so that I have the shot that I was actually trying to get. And that would be like every bit, like trying to get into the shadow like that is usually you're right in front of the shadow. So I definitely am going to have like the premium shot coming into the cup. And I could swear there is an adjustment. I'm going to take 10% off. For some reason, it feels like it'll be one of those deals. If I add wind on, it'll be you should have taken wind off, and if I take wind off, it's you should have added. And if I don't do anything, it's you should have did something. It'll be wrong no matter what. Okay, there's Max. I'm going to pull back for Max so I can work the wind out. And I'm just going to do a 3-1. I'm just going to do a full adjustment. There's 3, 1. Hitting it perfect. Should get a pretty good read. If it's on the right hand side, I didn't take enough wind out. If it's on the left, I took out too much. Just a bit too much. So I should have took off like maybe 5%. -5. And I know better. It runs up to the cup. I ran my ball guide all the way up to it because I was going against that headwind. But I know on this hole that you can leave your ball guide a little short and it'll run out at the end and run towards the cup. All right. That is what I'm going to do here, but there are some holes that we can definitely get in trouble, and there are a couple holes in this course that we definitely need to get. That one par 3, I think the mid par 3, we've got to get that. There's several of these par 4s that we need to put ourselves in this. We have to pick up at least one. This is the type of tournament we're going to need to pick up 3 per side. So the one par 3 is a great opportunity. I think we have great opportunities on all the par 5s. The par 4s, we're going to have shots going into them. I think the first par 4 we can try and get on in one, but the other par 4s, we're going to have to work. Especially that mid one, we're going to have to work on it. So we gotta. These are great holes, and you can go for it and get a little aggressive on it with these types of holes. And if it all works out, you can have a great round, a great week. But they can also come back and bite you. So it's one of those types of tournaments. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the qualifying round on Monday tomorrow, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching.